Hello, welcome to Chandler Gilbert Community College Fall 2024 Mathematics Division meeting. Welcome back to everyone who's been with us before, and welcome to the many new adjuncts that we have this year. Please reach out to everyone that's new and give them a warm welcome and show them how we are very collaborative here in our department. So we start off with our vision and mission, and our vision is that we work towards a promising and sustainable future by cultivating our students to become collaborative, persistent problem solvers, making sense of the world through precise and viable mathematical arguments. And our mission is that we achieve our vision by teaching inclusively and engaging, challenging, and empowering students through actively exemplifying the joy, beauty, and utility of mathematics. So big vision, big mission, that's what we're about, working with our students and helping our students to learn. The makeup of our division is I am the chair, Pam Woodbury, and you've all interacted with me in one way or another multiple times at this point. And then you should have had some interactions with Joan. Joan is our fabulous administrative assistant specialist, and she can be reached at this email address that's shown here, and she's super helpful, and if doesn't know the answer, can usually direct you in the right path. We have about 20 residential math faculty members, two of which are on one-year only contract and one of which is on sabbatical. All of these residential math faculty serve in leadership roles also, and you will know some of them better than others because some of them will be your course coordinators. Hopefully at this point you've already met either in person or via email your course coordinators, and they have been able to answer all of your many questions that you have while you get your courses set up for this upcoming week when the students will be joining us next Monday. We also have a couple lead math faculty, and one is Roberta, who's our developmental math lead, and those of you who are teaching the developmental math courses know Roberta and know all the work she's done there. And then we also have an online teaching and learning course coordinator, and that's Milos. And Milos has worked very hard to put together materials that are helpful if you're teaching online. And he is here to help us through some of the requirements that we have for teaching online. And you will meet him, if you haven't already, you'll meet him on Thursday night at our at our mandatory kickoff where we have some professional development for you. So just a quick look at where we are as a college with our FTSE. And the good news is enrollment continues to rise, and you can see here that we rose last year by a little bit, and we're even more than we were last year. You can see a little change here and a little bit bigger change there. So that's good, slowly but surely getting back to where we were pre-pandemic. Definitely not there yet, but working towards it. In the math division, again, you can see for a little while we were hovering right where we were last year overall, but now we have accelerated again, and we are definitely show an increase in our FTSE from last year. You can see we still have one more week before classes start, and enrollment should continue to grow over that week. This is our busy week for enrollment. All right, so next we're going to talk about Canvas. Canvas is your learning management system. That's where all your materials for your class should be available on Canvas. Canvas is where you have your grade book. It's where you make assignments. It's where you do announcements. All communication with your students should be done through Canvas, whether you're teaching in person with, fully in person, hybrid, or fully online. Your Canvas course should be set up ready to go and opened prior to the first week of class. So maybe a few days before your class starts, send a welcome announcement, let students know the class is available so they can start looking through the expectations of your class. And then if you're not sure how to use Canvas, you can reach out to the CTLA and they will help you. Or if you've used Canvas for a long time, you just want to learn something new that you've never used before in Canvas, the CTLA is there to help you with that. Also inside Canvas is our Concourse syllabus. This is the one and only place where you will create your syllabus for your class. The access is through Canvas, and again, there's training from the CTLA on building your Canvas syllabus, but you should also have received sample syllabi from your course coordinators, and they can help you with setting up your syllabus. An email went out from Joan already talking about when the syllabus is due and what needs to be in the syllabus, as required elements. Technically, the syllabus is due by the end of the first week of class, but it really needs to be opened prior to the first week of class and completed then, because students need a chance to look at the syllabus before class starts. By waiting until the end of the first week, that's too late if there's something in the syllabus that the student really cannot work around. So then the syllabus will be reviewed, and if you have any problems with your syllabus, you will get notified. So make sure you read any emails that come from Concourse, because that is going to be your notification if there's something that needs to be fixed in your syllabi. So I know you get a lot of emails once you're in Maricopa system. There's some that are very important to look out for. Those are the ones from your course coordinators, from Joan, from me, and right now this time of year from Concourse. All right, so also in your syllabus, you need to have an attendance policy. It's mandatory that you have it in there. Chandler Gilbert is an attendance taking institution, and all classes, including online and hybrid, must have an attendance policy. If you're confused about that in any way, you can look at the email with the subject line, "Welcome back to Fall 2024" from Paul Tran. He's the head of our admissions and enrollment area, and so he provides a lot of details concerning admissions and enrollment, or admissions and registration, I should say. So make sure you're looking out for emails from him. He doesn't communicate with us that often, but he does around times when we have to do things in SIS, or everything according to the last day of attendance, anything according to attendance. He will be sending emails, and I usually forward those also so that you see them from me. Also in your syllabus, you should talk about the assessments. If you're using Respondus for proctoring your online exams, you need to make sure that's included in the syllabus. If you need to know more about Respondus, you'll be talking with Milos about that on Thursday night or prior if you send him an email. You need to have an integrity statement for each assessment that you have. Even if you're teaching in person, I recommend having an integrity statement. And that's basically a statement that says they did not receive any help, that all the work is their own original work. And we've realized recently that you can use Respondus Lockdown Browser even for your in-person exams. And this is a really good idea, because since we like to let the students use Desmos, if they have their computer open using Desmos, we found that they could hop all over the internet, because we can't watch every computer every second. And so now many of us have decided that we will use the Respondus Lockdown Browser in person. And if you need some advice on how to set that up, let me know and I can direct you to the right person. Also, under assessments, it's important that you have the final exam date and time included in your syllabus. So if you're doing an online class, it's possible that your course coordinator has scheduled in-person times for your students to come in and take the final in person. If so, they will be providing you with that information. All in-person and hybrid courses must use the official schedule for their final exam times. And so make sure that that is included in your syllabus. And if you're confused about that final exam schedule when you get there, reach out to your course coordinator or myself, and I can help you interpret that. And then this doesn't really go in your syllabus, but I have it listed here just as a reminder that we do want 50% or more of the course grade should come from proctored assessments. Doesn't necessarily mean in person, but proctored in a way that we can know it was the actual student doing the work. Finally, back to Canvas. In Canvas, there is a tutoring link, takes you directly to the tutoring/learning center website where there's the hours for their in-person tutoring and also information about scheduling online appointments. So your students can meet with the tutors, with actual Chandler Gilbert tutors who are trained by our faculty in our math division. They can meet with them online or in person, and there's more information at their website, which is linked right here inside of Canvas. So make sure your students know that as well. And then finally, for you, not for your students, in Canvas, there's something called Dropout Detective. And this is a really nice dashboard that gives you some insight into your student engagement. And it also, you can see if your student has allies, like maybe counseling, maybe if they're a DRS student, Disability Resource Services might have an ally in there. Anybody who's an athlete at Chandler Gilbert has allies in there. You can send messages to the allies. So if you have somebody, let's say, who's a basketball player and missed a couple of assignments or has started coming to class late every day, you can reach out in the Dropout Detective to their ally, and somebody over in the athletics area would actually reach out to the student. This is embedded right within Canvas. But in order for it to be meaningful, you have to have current due dates on all your published assignments, and you need to be entering zeros for missed assignments. This is something you can check weekly, especially in the beginning, to give you a good idea of who's maybe needs some reaching out to for some extra guidance. All right, so that was it for Canvas. Now we're moving on to other important information to know. And the first one is super cool. There is a new math placement web page. If you click on this link or type in this or just go to, oh, I thought I had a picture in there, but I don't. If you just go to the homepage for Chandler Gilbert and look under Student Resources tab at the top, one of the items in that pull-down menu is the math placement. And we now have on there PDFs, colorful PDFs for Chandler Gilbert placement requirements and the math paths that are what most of our majors will need to follow. We have too many different paths for everything, but we have for the majority of them there. And what's super cool is we have videos for a lot of our classes now, like 151, 121, 140, our '05 classes. Students can click on the videos and there's a little like 2-minute video that gives them some information about the class. This kind of helps them to know if they're in the right class or if they should try to move up a level or potentially even start at a little bit of a lower level. And so definitely if you have a student who seems to be advanced or struggling in your first couple of days of class, send them to this page and ask them to watch the videos that are there. Like if you're a 151 teacher, have them watch the 151 video and maybe the 121 video. And if the student decides that they want to transfer to another class to help them be at the level they feel best at, we can help them do that. There's also links to the placement testing for the 051 through 057 classes, so students can take those placement tests and see if they, really don't need to be in those 05 classes that many of them have signed up for. Just a great resource. We're super excited about it. I hope you check it out and let me know what you think. Okay, rooms. So this is in every year, but we have a lot of new people this year. So I just need to remind everybody, never use sanitizing wipes or spray on any of the whiteboard surfaces. It's really bad for the surfaces and will make them deteriorate much faster. Same, don't use paper towels on the whiteboard surfaces. They're much too rough for those surfaces. At the end of the class, make sure you turn off the projector. Don't just put it in standby mode. Turn it off. It turns out those light bulbs are super expensive. We don't want to be burning them out. Erase all the whiteboard surfaces either with the cloth. There's a bunch of cloths in the room and erasers. Reset the tables to pods of 3, similar to how you found them, so students can move around and instructors can move around between the pods. Basically, be considerate. Leave the room as good as, or even better than you found it. And there's Classroom Technology Operations Guide that's been made available and is in all the rooms as well. We have markers in all the rooms so that you can have the students up at the boards working. Those get replenished on a pretty regular basis, but if you ever find yourself out of markers in the room, just let Joan know and she'll help you out with that. 3 of the rooms in the Pecos campus and 1 out at the Williams campus has laptop carts where we have a bunch of laptop computers locked up in the cart. If you're teaching in one of those rooms and would like to use those computers on any particular day, let me know. I'll get you access to the key so that you can use these as you need to for your class. Most students have computers, but every now and then we have a situation where a teacher does like to access these laptops. Technology needs. Students might need a laptop. Guess what? They can go to the library and borrow a laptop for free. It's amazing. Same thing with graphing calculators. They are available for free in the library on both campuses. Students have $10 a month on their accounts that they can use for printing. So students should be able to print out or make copies. $10 a month should last for quite a while. And there is a computer lab available on campus where students can have work time there. Faculty, we have some older style drawing tablets that you can borrow if you're interested and need a drawing tablet for maybe if you're doing video chats with your students and you need a surface to draw on to represent, some problem that you're working on. Ask Joan about them and she can help you get set up. If there's any other technology needs you need, let us know. There might be a way we can get them for you. No promises, but we will try. And then something you should know is that any videos that you have in your course need to have closed captioning available, and the easiest way to have this is to put all of your videos on YouTube and then embed them in your Canvas course. This is also a better way to do videos because it takes up a lot less room in your Canvas course. There's not a problem with memory storage. But if it's a YouTube video, the student can turn on closed captioning and it is there for them. You have a YouTube channel for free as part of your Maricopa Google account. And you can, again, reach out to the CTLA for assistance if needed with that. or, I'm sure your course coordinator can help you a little bit. I could help you a little bit, but definitely CTLA is there for that as well. More information for you to know is that there is a place where students can do makeup exams on campus. It's in the computer lab. Here's a link and what do they call it? The rabbit trails or something like that they call it, for how to get to that page on the CGC Inside website. You scroll down to the bottom and you'll see instructional makeup exam and all the information that you need to do on how to get that exam to the center and how your students need to sign up for that exam. The tricky thing is the students don't have access to that information on your own, so you have to make sure that you copy the information from that Inside Computer Lab web page to get it to the students so that the students can follow the directions on how to take a makeup exam. If you have student issues or concerns, a student was cheating, a student's come to class the last few days sleeping in class and they've never done that before, they look like they haven't had a bath in a few days and, that's not typical for them. Anything could be a student concern. We have a place on Inside Quick Links where you can fill out what's known as a simplicity report, and someone will read these. They're read every night, actually, and someone will probably reach back out to you for more information and reach out to the student to see if they can intervene or assist. If you see a dangerous situation, however, that needs immediate intervention, go directly to campus safety and or counseling, and then follow up later with your simplicity report. There is a helpful student referral process handout that's in the resources folder, and I have a new version that I will be sending out either in the email with this presentation or in an email coming out later in the week. If you need to be absent a one time from your class, you just need to let me know. You need to let your students know, and you need to prepare an alternate asynchronous activity for them, but you don't need to get a sub if it's just a one-time absence. Now you can get a sub, that's fine. Like if you want to give an exam on the day you're going to be out and you want it to be proctored, or for whatever reason you don't want to prepare an alternate asynchronous activity, you can also get a sub. This is just an option. But anytime you have an extended absence or even a one-time absence where you really do want to have a sub, again, the process is you first notify me, you report your absence in HCM, and if you have trouble doing this, you can reach out to Joan for assistance. And then you have to obtain a sub for your class and submit a sub request form. The sub request form helps us to put all the paperwork through so that, or help get the paperwork started so that the sub can actually get paid for subbing for your class. It's always easiest if you've already identified a sub. You still have to fill out the sub request form, and then in there you say who you've identified. If you haven't identified a sub for yourself, just fill out the sub request form and we will try to get a sub for you. Bottom line is, it's not okay to just miss class. You can't just say to your students, oh, no class next week and no assignment either. That just is not acceptable. And again, COVID policy, the good news is that there is really almost no policy. The policy is we no longer require online reporting of symptoms or positive diagnosis. And the website just says, we hope the employees and students will continue to responsibly follow the CDC guidelines, which is basically just says stay at home when you're sick. So just like the flu or any other sickness you can have, nothing special or unique to COVID anymore. This is a long section, all this information. I'm going through it at a pretty quick pace, but you know what? You can rewatch this. You can relook at the slide deck that I'll send out. You can reach out to me. It's just that I have to give you all this information at the beginning of the semester. So I'm doing my best to get through it quickly, but to also make it meaningful. And most important, just know you can always reach out. So student registration. For traditional online classes, students can still enroll themselves during the first day of class. For in-person classes, however, students trying to enroll themselves have to enroll before the first day of class. And for hybrid classes, it's before the first day of class also, but that first day of class might not be the first day you meet in person. So if you have like a Wednesday hybrid, for example, Monday is your official first day of class. Due to late cancellations, students may be attempting to enroll 1 or 2 days late. And if a student reaches out to you to get permission to enroll in your class, you can give them permission by submitting a SAR. There's a link here. This is called a schedule adjustment request. You fill that out and send it to me. Sorry, the next slide tells better. Well, you fill out the SAR and then you email me to let me know you filled out the SAR, and I will go in there and look at it. I need you, however, if possible, to make sure the student has met the prereqs and is qualified for your class, because sometimes a student wants to get into a class they really don't belong in. If you're not able to do that, that's okay. Send me an email and I will look into that for you. So here's some examples of why a student may need to be enrolled late. Maybe they had trouble enrolling due to a holdup with admissions and records. Maybe they're switching classes. They just they found out their work schedule, they have to work at a different time, and so they need to switch classes. Maybe, like I was saying before, the student's just not in the right class for them, and they need to be switched to a level that is better for them. Maybe the student was enrolled in a class that was canceled. Here's a big one. The student was dropped for non-payment or even accidentally by the instructor. So if you have students drop for non-payment and you want to let them back in when they reach out to you, you can do that. Just submit the SAR. It's on our inside page under quick links, under request forms. And like I said, then let me know. I don't do this. The first week of classes is when I'm pretty willing to let students enroll. The second week of classes, not, because they've already missed a whole week of class. However, if they've been participating in your class and they get dropped for non-payment or accidentally, then for sure we can get them back in. Now, those were all information items. Here's some big action items for you. Prior to the first week of class, submit your Concourse syllabus for review, open your Canvas shell, send a welcome message, verify that your class is, quote, graded in SIS, that it's not just like a pass-fail class. And you can see this in your faculty center in SIS when you open the class. For online classes, there's some new requirements. You have to complete the following: a sample RSI communication plan, you have to submit an RSI communication plan. An RSI communication statement has to be provided in your syllabus. And once your class gets started, you have to fill out an RSI assurance plan. So there is an email with the subject line regular and substantive interaction. Check out that email for more details. And also, once you have all of these forms, you need to also email copies of all 3 of those forms to Milos so that he can check them out as our online teaching and learning coordinator. In the first week of class, you have to verify the students are on your roster. So if students are showing up for class, make sure they're actually on your roster. If they're not, you have to help them, either send them to Joan, send them to myself, submit a SAR so they can join your class if that's correct, or direct them to their next steps. You have to, this is very, very important. You have to drop no-shows by 5 p.m. on the refund deadline date, which is found in SIS. Use a code 43, the never attending. When you drop somebody in SIS, you put a W in, it'll ask for a code. Use the code 43, but note, code 43 can only be used if you drop the student before 5 p.m. on the refund date. After that, you have to use code 42 for dropping students that never came or that are excessive absences. If it's after the refund date, you have to use code 42. Never use code 43 after the refund date. This is why, if you have students that didn't show up, drop them. Even if they come back afterwards and say, oh, they have a good reason, whatever, and you believe them and you want to put them back in, it's very easy for us to put them back in. But if we don't drop them before the refund date, the student can have a lot of debt built up. And when the students don't pay their debt, that becomes debt to the college. So we don't want the students to get a lot of debt, bad debt, and we don't want to have a lot of bad debt. So again, more information can be found in that email from Paul Tran, the Welcome Back to Fall 2024 email that I mentioned earlier. All right, more action items now. See, I had prior to the first week, now during the semester. Check your Dropout Detective weekly, contact your struggling students. There's something called the 45th day roster. You'll get a lot of emails from Paul Tran about this. And the trick with the 45th day rosters is they have to be cleaned up before the 45th day. And then on the 45th day, all you can do is verify it. You can't make changes at that point. So make all your changes in the days going up to the 45th day. If you have students you need to drop for whatever reason, get that done before the 45th day so that you can just on the 45th day verify that your roster is accurate. And of course, check your emails regularly. You might get emails from students, you might get emails from us. And then after the semester's over, you must maintain attendance records for at least 3 years. This is according to federal student aid or regulations. And so if you haven't been doing this, please start doing it. If you use Canvas for your attendance, I think you're pretty good there because we have access to it after that. Also, you have to maintain your final exams for at least 6 months. Don't throw away your final exams. Final exams have to be held on for at least 6 months. One big reason is if a student files a grade grievance, we need copies of the student's work from the entire semester. If we don't have the work from the entire semester, we at least need the final exam. If you have other exams, that's super helpful as well for us. Also, while we ask that you never return final exams to the students, it is okay to review their work with them individually as long as no pictures are taken. So if a student wants to meet with you after the final to review the work that they did, that's fine. You can meet with them and go over things. You just can't give them copies of it because the final exam questions often get reused. Deep breath. Okay, so here are some resources and observations for adjuncts are covered in this section. First of all, we recently put together adjunct faculty professional growth, and by we, I mean the Maricopa District. And all the information can be found about the adjunct faculty tiers at this link. I don't know if you know it, but adjunct faculty have access to $750 per year for professional growth related activities. So if you want to go to our conference, you can use that money to help pay for your travel. So check out the Adjunct Faculty Group webpage for detailed information about your benefits and any concerns that you might have. On the Chandler Gilbert campuses, both Pecos and Williams, there are adjunct faculty workrooms. They're listed here. You have access with your swipe cards to all of these rooms. There are some folders in Choya 201 on the Pecos campus, so if you want to leave paperwork for another adjunct or for a sub, you could use those folders. And students aren't allowed in those workrooms because faculty are working in there on exams and other stuff. That's their quiet time. So students are not typically allowed in those workrooms. The one exception to that is like Agave. Students are allowed in there if you want to work with the student in that area. Adjunct faculty are observed in the first 3 semesters of teaching. So if you're new, you will have your course coordinator or somebody representing your course coordinator come in and do an observation of your class for the first 3 semesters, or if you're teaching a class that you've never taught before. And then after that, you must be observed according to the faculty agreement once every 3 years. However, those of you who have been around for a while know that it's our goal here in our division to observe all adjunct faculty at least once a year. We try really hard to do that. These are great opportunities for us to share teaching philosophies. We learn from you, and hopefully you're learning from us all at the same time. The online courses will also be observed for regular and substantive interaction. And if your online course is observed for the RSI by Milos, this does not take the place of a course-specific observation. Milos is not looking at course-specific items. He's just looking at regular and substantive interaction and how your course is set up in the online environment. All right, so the fall professional development kickoff, that's our mandatory kickoff Thursday night. This I look forward to every year, and we have a dinner starting at 5, and I will be available at that time to also answer questions that you have that have come about from this presentation or from anything. You can ask me questions. Make sure that you've registered using that Google form that was emailed out by Joan, and I think she keeps sending reminders if you haven't registered yet. If you can't attend, please fill out that Google form anyway. Then Joan will stop sending you emails, for one thing. And for another thing, it helps me to know who's coming and who's not coming. If you attend the entire event from 5:30 to 8:15, you will receive 2.5 hours of pay following the event. So this is something that we are fortunate to be able to do. That's available to all adjunct math faculty who are attending that evening. Once you're registered, a calendar invite with room information will be sent, maybe not immediately after you register, but hopefully before you need it on Thursday night. And I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of you in person on Thursday night. Finally, we have this great resource called the Mathematic Instructor Resources folder. That's where you'll find a copy of this presentation, a PDF copy. You'll find important emails. You'll find that information about the student referral process. Lots of information in this resources folder. So make sure that you can check that out and know what's there in case you ever need it. This is the time, if we were all together, I would say, are there any questions but instead I'm going to ask you to fill out a Google form and write down any questions you have for me, and I will address them via email to either you individually or to the division as a whole. And then on Thursday night, like I said, I will be available to answer questions. You can always email, call, or stop by my office anytime as well. All right. Have a great semester. Stay safe, stay healthy, have fun. And thank you for getting to the end of the presentation. Woohoo!